morning everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I've got a bit of a chatty video on the books that I've been reading over the last month, so the month of April. I said at the end of March that I was going to do this video and I put out the books that I wanted to read, and I'll leave that video link down below in case you didn't see it. But I did invite you guys to read along with me. I had a list of, I think it was 5 books. Was it 5? I've got them written down here. I've only actually got 2 of the physical books, but I've got my little notebook here. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so I've got a list of 5 books. So I told you all what they were and a lot of you have been reading along with me. I've had a lot of messages over on my Instagram, which is just Victoria Folger. A lot of private messages where we've chatted back and forth about what we think and whether we finish certain books and things. So I was going to do this in my usual like little reading corner, but it's just such a nice sunny day today. I decided to sit out where there's some sunshine. This is Oscar's sunflower, by the way, there. He planted it as a seed at school and it's got so big. I'm just thinking of putting it outside this weekend. Fingers crossed we don't actually kill it, so I need to make sure that it's suitable to go outside, but he's so proud of it, bless him. So I just thought I would film in the conservatory. Bit of a nice like fresh change of scenery. My washing's on the line because he balls on the trampoline. Just normal real life. I really like doing these videos. I'm going to put my book down. I've got myself a mug of I don't know if I've done the right thing. Obviously I've used these. It's the Twinings Cold Infuse for water bottles. It's coconut pineapple and green tea. I've put 2 bags in, but I've actually used boiling water because I didn't want a cold drink. I wanted a hot drink, but it smells like a pina colada. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning, so best not be alcoholic at it. But no, it's just normal tea. I don't know if you can add hot water to them. It looks okay. I've put 2 bags in as well because I don't find these very strong, so I've got my mug of that. Oh, that's nice. The bags haven't split open, so I don't see why you can't use hot water. So go and grab yourselves a cup of tea, coffee, cold drink, get some snacks, get comfortable, because we're just going to ramble really, and I really hope you enjoy this video. I'm sorry if the angle keeps changing as well, but I've just realised that when I press record I'm cutting my head off, so I've moved you back a bit. If this isn't your cup of tea, that was really bad, wasn't it? Then foodie content is still coming. I'm still doing my normal like recipes and hauls. Just go find something else to watch. I've done 2 of these videos, I'm going to be honest. I've only done 2 like reading content videos on this channel, and both of them have lost me subscribers and I don't understand. Like obviously if it's not your cup of tea, that's fine, but if I watch a YouTuber that I really love, if they do like loads and loads of cooking videos and then they suddenly put up like, I don't know, a boat building video, I don't think I'd unsubscribe. I think I just wouldn't watch the boat building video. So I really don't want any of you to leave, but every other video I put up I always gain subscribers. The trend is you always lose a few people, but generally people stick around. They watch the video and they stick around. People are watching these videos and leaving, so I apologise. If you could just let me know what it is I've done wrong. I hate to see any of you go. Obviously I love our little community, but I do know that even though these are lower view videos, that a lot of you just really like the sort of sit down casual chatty content. And yeah, so they're not going to be your polished bookstagram proper book YouTube people videos, because I've never done them and this is just me. But I just prefer the chatty relaxed vibe really, and this is really really strong. It smells very pineapple-y. I've got this shirt on as well that I bought in my latest Primark haul. It's not normally my kind of thing. I bought one in black as well. It's very lacy. It's very nice and summery, and I just saw it this morning and thought it made me feel good, but I just don't know if it's me. I don't know if it suits me. But anyway, I'm feeling really positive today. Like I've woken up in a positive mood, and it's the first time in a few months that I've actually started to feel that, you know, things are a bit brighter, and these videos are just so nice. They're just, I find them therapeutic. I love doing the cooking and stuff, but I like reading, I like chatting to like-minded people, and I like talking on the camera. But sometimes I don't want to do a daily vlog because I just don't know if I've got enough to say at the moment. But yeah, I'm feeling more positive, so I just wanted to say that if any of you are experiencing hard times in your life, which I'm sure a lot of you are, you know, and things have happened and you're feeling like there is never going to be a brighter day, then I promise you, just hold on, because those brighter days are coming, and it doesn't mean that it's going to hurt any less, or things are gonna suddenly magically feel better, but you will get brighter days, and they become more and more, and then the bad days seem to be fewer and fewer in between, if that makes sense. Anyway, I'm gonna stop waffling and I'm gonna have one more sip of my tea. That's good. If you've got the cold infused tea sitting in the back of your cupboard, like me, that you had all good intentions for, and you don't like it cold, put some hot water with it. So I'm gonna get my notebook, because I've got written down the books and what I thought of them. I've made notes, because I mean, my first book is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab, and I actually finished this on the 5th of April, so we're now on the 30th, and my brain just would have lost it all. So my first book was The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, as I just said. So Addie is a 23-year-old girl that lives in a very quiet, sleepy village in France, and she is set to marry, like an arranged marriage, with this boy, and they are going to have children and stay in the village, and that's going to be her lot in life. But Addie decides that that isn't what she wants, so she accidentally makes a deal with the devil. So she takes the deal because she can live the life she wants, she can be free, she doesn't have to marry this man, and she can go and do what she likes. But the condition is that she has to go through her life and no one will ever remember her. She won't be able to leave any mark on the world, and she also is immortal. So she can get a really long, well, immortal is pretty long, a really long life doing whatever she wants, but she's never going to have love, she's never going to have family, she's never going to have friends, and she's never going to leave a mark on the world. So she really quickly begins to realise that she got the bum end of this deal. Now, I absolutely loved this book. I've given it a 5-star purely because it made me think so much about what I want for my life, and I found it clever. It was intriguing. Some people said it was drawn out and there was too much of Addie's life in there. I could have read double the amount about Addie's life and the things she got up to and the different periods in her life she went through. You know, she would live through wars and revolutions and different artists, and it was just, I don't know, it really made me think about life itself and what you want from life and what's important in life, because towards the end of the 300 years that we follow her, Addie goes into a bookshop in Manhattan and she meets a guy that actually remembers her, and then from there it just blows your head off. The end of the book is absolutely amazing. I think this kind of book could have ended in 2 ways. They could have really messed it up, or they could have perfectly finished it so you weren't left wanting more, and they did that. Victoria Schwab, I cannot wait to read more of her work. So there was one part of the book towards the end that really made me, I cried. Like, I'm not a tactile person when reading. I don't know if I've ever cried. I cried at Watership Down, but other than that, I don't think I've ever cried, like properly cried, reading a book before. I actually cried in this book, and there are proper tears. But there is one part towards the end of the book around the guy she meets and a situation with him, and it just made me question life and how quickly it's passing by and how you need to make every day count. And I think coupled with how things have been for me at the moment in the situation, it just made me think, it just made me feel like I want to go out and do more, I want to experience more, I just want to take each day, I want to love my family, I want to love my friends, I just want to laugh and just be the best I can be, because it can all be taken away from you in an instant. And yeah, I am definitely going to read more of Victoria Schwab's work. She tends to write a lot of YA fiction as well, so I'm not sure. I'm going to have a look and see, but this book, I for one will never forget Addie LaRue. One thing I did want to say is, obviously if we're going to discuss these books, I'm really happy if you've read Addie LaRue or any of the books I'm talking about, we can discuss them in the comments. I'm going to try really hard, especially with these videos, to reply to you all and then get back to you if you reply back, so we can get a really nice conversation going, and hopefully you can like have a talk amongst yourselves as well. But can we try and keep the comments spoiler free if possible, so we can say what we thought, whether we liked the ending or didn't. If you do want to chat specifics, nitty gritty, like spoilers and, you know, all the downright dirty bits, then feel free to send me an email or contact me over on Instagram. My email is just folgervictoria@gmail.com, so we can chat about that without spoiling it for anyone else. And I would say if you haven't read these books, then possibly avoid the comment section, just in case some people do leave spoilers before I can get the chance to edit the comments. So I'm going to just try and leave the comments as they are, because that's the idea of this. I kind of want a little, like a book club, like a chat, let's all see what we think. But I'd love to hear, if you've read Addie LaRue, what you thought. Did you find it drawn out? I didn't. I loved it. I could have read it for another 3 weeks. So that's The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by Victoria Schwab. So the next book I read was called Neverworld Wake, and this is a young adult story by Marisha Pessl. So Neverworld Wake follows a group of teenage friends who get stuck in this kind of pseudo reality that resets every single day. So they're all stuck in this recurring Groundhog Day, and there's only one way they can get out of it, and that is if they take a unanimous vote for one person to survive and the rest must die. Now obviously, being a group of teenagers, none of them want to be the ones that die. They all want to vote for themselves and be the one that survives. So we follow their story as they try their best to keep reliving this day and come to terms with the fact that one of them is going to survive and the rest aren't. Because they've got so much time on their hands during this repetitive cycle, they decide that they're going to investigate the death of one of their group of friends the previous year, which was an apparent suicide. And what they find out will absolutely blow their friendship group apart forever. So I really enjoyed this book. I gave it a 3.5 stars because I did feel that it was very choppy. The writing was choppy. And I think the first half of the book and the second half of the book could almost have been written by 2 completely different authors. It started and ended so differently and it felt a little bit disjointed. I really like the premise of it. I love the idea of being stuck in this kind of netherworld, this like alternate reality, and little things were different all the time. And I think that part of it, coupled with the investigation into their friend's death, they just didn't marry up so well for me. So while I enjoyed reading the book, I didn't think that it flowed very well. It was like reading 2 separate books. So I would give it a 3.5 stars, but it was definitely entertaining, and I love anything magical realism. So I was entertained, but I wouldn't really recommend it wholeheartedly, if that makes sense. So yeah, I hate saying that. I don't like giving, it's not a bad review. A 3.5 stars is quite a good review, but it entertained me and I never didn't want to finish it. But when I finished it, I was like, wow, that's not how the book started at all. So I expected it to go one way and it didn't. So that is Neverworld Wake by Marisha Pessl. So I'm hoping the lighting here is okay because the sun keeps going in and out, and fingers crossed the camera is adjusting okay. The next book I read was The Guest List by Lucy Foley. As you may have seen by the beginning of this video, most of this I got to read on the beach, which was very atmospheric because this actually takes place on a remote island and there's lots of crashing of waves and sea on the rocks, and that's exactly what I could hear as I was reading it. So yeah, no, really a good one to pick to read on the beach. So this is a very Agatha Christie-esque story, and it follows a group of friends who go onto this remote island to attend a wedding. And we start off the story with a body, and so what we're trying to find out is who is it, what happened, and who done it. It is very much a murder mystery kind of story. It was very, very character driven. There was a lot of character building. We spent a lot of time reading about the characters and figuring out their backstory, which all played a huge part in the plot, but a lot of it seemed to be about the characters. So if you're looking for a hard and fast thriller / murder mystery, this doesn't really get going straight away in that way. It takes a long time to actually get to the nitty gritty, you know, killer vibe. Which is what we're all there for, really, aren't we? I really liked it. I gave it a 4 stars. So we start to learn about these different people, and they've all got their own secrets, some of which are pretty grim, and it all becomes clear in the end what has happened, and it's quite a satisfying ending. I was pretty pleased with it. It wasn't one that left me going, oh really? It was, yeah, I liked it. I gave it a 4 star. If you like Agatha Christie, if you like murder mystery, but you don't mind not jumping straight into the exciting stuff, then I would recommend The Guest List by Lucy Foley. So let me know if you've read it, what you think. I know I have had some opinions on this, that it was too drawn out again. I sat and read it. I think the fact that I was sitting on the beach with a hot chocolate was really nice as well, watching surfers, and yeah, I think it makes a big difference where you read a book sometimes as well, like the atmosphere surrounding you. So yeah, definitely I would recommend this one. And she's done another one, The Hunting Party, and I really want to get hold of that because a lot of you have said that that's really, really good as well. So yeah, 4 out of 5 for The Guest List. The next book we have is The Death of Mrs Westaway. This and Addie were probably the two I was most looking forward to reading, and it didn't let me down. I read Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware and absolutely loved it. I really did enjoy this book. This was another 4-star for me. So this follows Harriet, or Hal as she prefers to be called, and she's a young girl who's recently lost her mum, and she's borrowed some money from some really unsavoury characters and they want their money back, and she doesn't have any way of getting it. So Hal receives this letter saying that her grandmother has passed away and she has been left as one of the beneficiaries of this estate. Now Hal knows for a fact that her grandparents died several years ago, so she knows it's a case of mistaken identity. Thanks, police car. So she knows it's a case of mistaken identity, but she really needs the money and thinks, why not? So she meets her 3 uncles at the funeral. She goes back to this house to stay, this big like manor that's on the front here, and there's a creepy housekeeper. The uncles aren't all that friendly at first. So she goes to this house, she stays there, they read the will, she gets left quite a large chunk, and some of the uncles aren't too happy about that. So she decides to go, she goes home, she finds her mum's diary and starts reading through it. She also finds some photo albums, and basically she starts to piece together a life that she had no idea existed. And it's perhaps not the best thing to do because there are people in the house that would rather those secrets stay buried. So that's all I'm gonna say. I loved it. It was very well written. The only reason it didn't get a 5 from me is because I got a little bit confused. There were some parts where I said this to someone on Instagram as well, and she did agree with me that there were some characters that I wasn't sure who was who at times, and then there was a couple of plot twists that I had to go back and read again because they were either really rushed and like not really gone into it. It's just like, oh yeah, by the way, this happened, and I was like, what? Hang on, and go back and read it. Or they would be explaining, like the characters would be explained, but they would be so, I don't know, I got confused basically. There were several reread bits and I felt like maybe they needed to spend a little bit longer explaining those than some other parts. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think Ruth Ware, I've actually got one on my phone at the moment, another one to read. I've just got it from Libby. I think it's One by One. Where's my Libby app? One by One by Ruth Ware. So I've actually got that on my Libby app. If you don't know what Libby is, by the way, this isn't sponsored, I did mention it before. If you've got a library card, you can download the Libby app and you can basically borrow virtual books for free, and you get them for 3 weeks. And let me just show you. So click on your book and you can sit there and you can read it, and then you can place holds on books, and you can have like up to 12 books at a time. And I can never get back, but it's really good. So at the moment I've got like The Lost Apothecary, I've got one by Lucy Diamond, I've got Ruth Ware, I've got The House Share, The Chalkman, The Family Holiday. So I've requested to borrow The House on the Cerulean Sea, 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. There's a Vex King book I want, there's a Maisie Hill Period Power, Matt Haig. So all of these, and they will email when they're in stock or when they're available to borrow, and then they get sent to your phone. You get them for 3 weeks. And it's just brilliant. So that is the Libby app. I think it's called Libby by Overdrive. Definitely recommend it. All free, not sponsored, but check it out. And if you can't get Libby, there is one. Libby used to be BorrowBox, and a lot of counties in the UK still use BorrowBox. So if you can't find Libby, try BorrowBox. So I just thought I'd mention that because I know that, you know, sometimes it's nice to borrow a book and then you don't have to feel so pressured into enjoying it. And this is making the whole room smell of pineapple, which is good. So my last book that was on my list is The Sea Sisters by Lucy Clarke. This is one that my sister recommended to me. She works in a library and she thought I'd like this, and she was right. I really enjoyed this book. This follows 2 sisters, which was really nice. So there's the older sensible sister, like my sister, and then there's kind of this more tearaway young girl that's a little bit headstrong. There's kind of like a parallel here. So one day this sensible sister Katie's life is shattered when she hears news that her little sister Mia's body has been found off the coast of Bali, and the police are telling her that it was a suicide. So Katie decides to take matters in her own hands. She takes Mia's journal that she kept the whole way through travelling, and she basically embarks on her own journey, visiting every single place that Mia went, meeting the people that Mia met, and piecing together what actually happened. And this book again, it was another one that made me think life's too short. It was another one that made me think there's a lot more going on below the surface of people that no one else realises, even the people closest to them. And also it made me want to go backpacking so much. So I never did that. Like I didn't have that, I didn't do that gap year thing or anything, and I feel like I've always loved travel, and my sister's a bit like, oh really, I wish I hadn't said for you to read it, because I immediately messaged my sister when I finished going, great, I want to go backpacking, and she was like, that's the one who died in the end. And I was like, no, I just think it just really made me want to just pack up and travel and just see the world and experience things. So I absolutely loved it. I would give it 5 out of 5 stars. It was just nice. I say nice, I mean obviously one of them died, so it wasn't nice, but you know what I mean. It was just really, it was uplifting actually. A lot of it was uplifting. A lot of it made me realise, again, I love books that make, oh my back's aching. I'm sitting on like a weight bench thing, because my sofa's over there, but if I sit on that, all you can see is my freezer and the brick wall. So anyway, no, I love books that make you really look inside yourself and make you think, just make you think, and especially about life and what you want and what your passions are. And it sparked many a conversation between me and Steve. Obviously I'm not going to take off backpacking, I've got a job, I've got a house, I've got 3 children, I can't just disappear. But it has made us think about what we want to do and what travels we'd like to go on when we can travel again. But it put a smile on my face, this one, and it wasn't too dark. Some of the other, Neverworld Wake especially, felt a little bit dark and a little bit of a gloomy mindset, but this really was lots of sun and beaches and surfing and backpacking and adventures and barbecues and, you know, no shoes on the beach and that kind of thing. And the beach is like my #1 happy place. I'm always happy there. So yeah, those are the 5 books that I have read. Like I said, if you have read along with me, please let me know. Please go and chat in the comments with me, and let's do it again. I've got loads of books. Maybe you'd like to recommend some based on what I've read. Perhaps there's some you know I could get hold of. So I have got a list of books that are on hold. I'm currently reading The Shell Cottage by Lucy Diamond, I think, something like that. So I hope you did enjoy this video. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's any books you'd like to read, or you know, any format you think we could do this in. Like I said, these videos for me aren't the bulk of my channel. They're not like thought, you can tell they're not planned out. Like when I cook, I have to think, what's the recipe, what's the ingredients, have I got everything here, have I got all my equipment, is my camera set up properly? I'm literally just sitting here on a weight bench perched on a running machine with a cup of tea and a bit of burp on the window that I've just noticed. Hiding behind Oscar's sunflower. Why could I not point backwards? Do you know how hard that is to do? There. With my washing on the line. It's just one of those, like, do you know what, I'm going to put it out there because I like chatting and I've got no one else to talk to apart from the dogs, so I might as well talk to you guys. But no, I really am enjoying the book content, and for me it's not about chasing views. I know that I could go and do a home bargains haul and I would probably get 4 times the views and gain 50 subscribers, but I don't want to go to Home Bargains and buy a load of landfill tat just to put on my channel. I like doing this and I like connecting, and it's making me read, and that is getting me out of my head, and it's helping my mental health, and it's making me focus on different aspects of my life. And I think when you go through something really, really hard or a really difficult time, it's really important to try and use your brain in different ways and try and explore different avenues. And if something makes you happy, then grab hold of that with both hands and cling on to it. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. I really hope you have. Let me know what you think. Please don't unsubscribe. If you didn't like it, just don't watch it. Just because I've talked about books and not food. It doesn't matter. Life is like that sometimes. There's ups and downs, and if I enjoy creating the content, then I hope that comes across, and it's not like I'm being forced to do this. So I'm enjoying it. Hopefully you're enjoying it. I've had a few of you say that these are actually your favourite videos of mine that you've ever seen, and yet some people absolutely hate them. It's just mind-blowing sometimes, like what people like. And I need more people. I need feedback. I need people to say, I didn't really like that, so I won't watch it, or I really love that aspect, or you spoke more, or like I saw more of the real you rather than just what you eat or what you buy or how you cook, and I really like that. Or no, I don't really like seeing more of the real you, go back behind the camera. But I hope everyone is doing okay. I really hope a lot of you have read these books and will chat to me about them, and let's think about what we can read next, and let's come up with a list, and maybe I'll just do a really quick video on it saying next month we're going to do these ones. So Subscribe if you're not already, because I need you, because there's going to be loads of people that leave. Give this video a thumbs up. Follow me on Instagram. It is, what is it? Victoria Folger. Yeah, that's it. That's the one. It's Victoria Folger. And I'll be back really soon with another video. Take care, guys.